many of you, I love playing the Super Nintendo. Or maybe you like the Sega Genesis. I can't really blame you. It's a pretty cool system. But I hate to tell you, it doesn't matter which one you like, they're both baby toys. No, let's play with the real system. Yeah, we're gonna play in the real world with the 3DO. Real piece of crap. This system came out in 1993, and it was marketed as the all-in-one system. It wasn't really all-in-one unless you wanted to watch porn on your video game console. That doesn't sound like a bad idea. Pretty much, the person that founded EA thought, hey, let's make a system and have everybody make games for this system. Oh, and then we're going to make other people make the system. There was Panasonic, there was Gold Star, there were a couple models too, but those are the ones I can think of. And then they went to Nintendo and was like, hey, you don't have to make consoles anymore. No, you're just going to make games for our system. They said no. So they went to Sega. What do you think happened? Well, considering this thing flopped, I think we both know what happened. And it is not that bad of a looking console, honestly. It looks pretty cool. Okay, it doesn't look cool, but it doesn't look bad. Play some game. I say game because I only have one game. Hey look, it's the menu screen. Creative, right? Yeah, let's put logos on CDs and have them bounce. I know, it's pretty smart. But what do you need to play a game? Well, you need a controller. Well, let's go make a controller. God, after waiting for way too long, we finally have it. The 3DO controller. Yeah, I made that joke because it looks like a combination of the Super Nintendo controller and the Genesis controller. And because they look similar, this is actually a pretty good controller. The D-pad is not too bad. The buttons are pretty good. These buttons suck, but doesn't matter, you're not going to be using them. And the triggers feel good. So overall, this is actually a pretty good controller. But here we go. Let me tell you something. There was this really big game called Doom that came out. And because it was so good, people started making clones. This is one of them. This game isn't an FMV game. Yeah, most of the games on the 3DO are like Sega CD games, so they're like FMVs, which means they're videos that you interact with, pretty much. Funny enough, this knockoff of Doom runs better than fucking Doom. Hey, can I play? I mean, I think this is only a one-player game, but we can try. Oh, sweet! Just plug it. What? Oh, well, guess what? Your first player controller, and you have to plug your second player controller into the first player controller. What the fuck? So overall, what are my opinions on the 3DO? Honestly, I think it's overrated. It's bad, and I mean, like, there are some things that are completely fucking stupid about it. Like, why do you have to daisy chain the controllers? Who thought that was a good idea? And you would think, oh, that's just a one-time thing with just this console. That was on all of them! Who thought that would be a good idea? What's wrong with just plugging them into the console? So that was stupid. And the biggest problem about the 3DO, most of the games suck. Why is that? Most of the games are FMV games, or full motion video games, which means it's pretty much you watch this and then you interact. Think of a Telltale game, except it's like a quarter of the amount of times you react. And that is 95% of the library on this thing. And this thing, when it came out in 1993, retailed for $700 in 1993. $700. You could buy a Super Nintendo and a Sega Genesis for that, and still have money for games. Crazy games for it if it was $700 at launch. It only had one launch title. One game! So say, oh, I just sold my soul for this console, right? It's only $700 before taxes. Let's go play some games. And there's one fucking game. I'm pretty sure it was Rotor Ash. What the fuck? Let's just put it into perspective. Think of a company that puts out a VR headset, but instead of pricing it at average, $500, they price it at $3,000. So overall, if there's a certain couple of games you want to play, it is definitely a kind of a neat system. And it does have hidden gems, like a Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. It's one of the best ports on a home console. Doom on 3DO is a shitty game, but it has the best soundtrack. It was a missed opportunity. Go back to your kids' toys, because they're actually good compared to the real system.